I got a question for you. And so my question to you is, as a fan of hip hop, what type of hip hop are you listening to? And I know I want to be clear about what I'm asking you because hip hop can come in many different types of varieties. And it's very easy for all of us to say, oh, yeah, I listen to rap, I listen to hip hop. And we think that we're saying the exact same thing. At the end of the day, we're not actually listening to the exact same thing. So, my question to you is, are you listening to trap, right? Are you listening to hip hop? Or are you listening to like classic rap, right? Totally different things there. We know trap is 808 heavy. It's got the big bass. It's more focused on the melody of that, on the melodies of that beat. And the rapper is kind of floating above, doing triplets above it and whatnot, right? And then we also have hip hop, which I think, like to me, when I think hip hop versus classic rap, hip hop definitely has a decent beat, but the rapper is definitely much more important. And in classic rap, the beat is almost forgotten. Like it's all about the actual rapper doing what they do, right? So I feel like at the end of the day, we're all listening to different things, okay? Um, and we all, what I'm listening to in my car is not the same thing that you're listening to in your car or your playlist, if you don't have a car, right? And I think that's something that sometimes we don't really realize is that, two cars could be next to each other. I could be listening to a certain style of hip hop, and then you could be listening to something. Or even, and here's a different perspective too, we can both be listening to the exact same artist, but listening to them in a different way. For example, we could both be listening to Drake, but me personally, I'm listening to Drake for his raps. And then the person over there, they could be listening to Drake for his singing. A lot of people love the way Drake sings. That's even Kendrick Lamar, said that he likes the way Drake sings. He just doesn't like certain things that he says in his raps, right? So, like I said, I do know a lot of people who listen to Drake for his love songs, and his vibey dance tracks, right? I do know a lot of people who do that. So, with all that being said, I feel like we don't realize that there is such a divide between all of us and what we could be listening to. And I'm going to try to explain what my point is because I feel like we all say that we're listening to hip hop, but we're not listening to the same kind of hip hop. And I believe that the Drake and Kendrick beef most likely revealed a huge division within hip hop based on what we listen to. And so, what am I getting at? I'm going to try to actually get to the point a little bit. So, I believe that there's basically two kinds of artists, two kinds of two lanes for hip hop. I'm going to call it two lanes. I believe we have the extremely lyrical MCs, right? Lyrical lyrics, just hardcore lyrics, bars, 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 double entendres, right? And then we also have MCs who are more melodic, right? So MCs who rely on their melody, who are more focused on the melody than the bars sometimes. And sometimes that can go too far. We all know that. Sometimes you can get so focused on the melody that there are no bars, you're practically singing, right? And so I believe that another way to describe the separation in those lanes is that those artists who are more willing to be lyrical, I feel like they need a terminology, and that terminology that I would like to call it is classic rap. Classic rap, and then the artists that are highly focused on the beat and the melody, usually we might call them modern trap. You know what I mean? So, anyways, so I've been on a journey after the beef between Kendrick and Drake. I've been on this journey. I went ahead and I listened to every Kendrick Lamar song because I was never a Kendrick Lamar fan. So I still went ahead and I listened to all of his songs. I listened to every album because I wanted to see if I was missing something. I'm a Drake fan. Y'all know that. I'm a hardcore Drake fan. Y'all know that. But I wanted to take a look at Kendrick's not selection, Kendrick's music and see if I can. Number one, could I be converted? Maybe. And if could I learn to like him? Could I even learn to like him more than Drake? I like to be a balanced guy. I like to have balance in life. That's really important. So, like I was saying, in the end, though, I did end up realizing that for the most part, I didn't rock with most of Kendrick's music on account of the beat selection, the types of beats that he chooses. Um, I don't particularly rock with most of them. I'm not going to say that I didn't like his tracks. I'm just going to say that I didn't rock with most of Kendrick's music. Um, Now, there were particular tracks that I did like when I listened to all of Kendrick's music. For example, I did like his track, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. We gon' be alright. I listened to that. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. So, I mean, to be fair, those are kind of the mainstream hits. So, I mean, we got to be fair. So, it's probably no surprise that I like those tracks. What I started to realize the more that I listened to Kendrick is that his music is very dense. And when I say dense, I need to be specific. Not synthetic. Like he prefers to use actual instruments. He uses really good singers in his tracks, right? And he it's not synthetic like computer stuff. Like everything's on a computer. Like he probably has real trumpet players. You know what I mean? And so I started to realize that, when he makes his albums, he tends to go in his own direction and then he makes like three mainstream hits. So what I mean by that is like, when somebody like Drake makes an album, of course we're going to speak about Drake. He tends to try to get, if he has 15 songs, he wants 15 mainstream hits. But when I was listening to Kendrick, I realized that Kendrick would put maybe 3 to 4 mainstream hits, and the rest of the tracks on that album is going to be just musical, unique things, very, very musical stuff. Experimental, definitely experimental type of music that a lot of mainstream artists wouldn't even consider doing something like that, right? And so what's fascinating about that is, well, technically, I am a former bass player. You guys probably don't know a lot about me, but I used to play bass. And so I can really appreciate the musicality that Kendrick seems to have. Like a lot of his tracks feature live instruments. And I kept thinking to myself, this kind of reminds me of back when I was playing music and we would have somebody who was kind of a quote unquote indie rapper and they would rap on top of our music, right? So our music would be, I'd be playing my bass, they'd be playing the drums, and there'd be a rapper, and it would always work. It'd work out pretty well. I used to love that. So I'm starting to realize Kendrick is kind of like a hip hop jazz fusion type of situation, you know, at least for most of his tracks. And then, like I said, 3 or 4 of those tracks will actually be mainstream. So, with all that being said, I think my point is, I do happen to prefer to listen to trap music with 808 bass beats. It's a weird transition from being a bass player to only wanting to hear that synthetic 808 bass type of beat. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And but I did start to realize that when I try to listen to Kendrick songs, especially the jazzy ones, it's not really music for you to really like bounce your head to. You're supposed to receive a message from that music, which is very that's something that how rap music always used to be. You're supposed to sit there, take in a message. He's delivering a message to you. Just kind of sit there and take it in, figure out what he's trying to say. Sometimes it's deep. Sometimes it's just a very smart way to talk about something. Like I mean, he was talking about there's one track where he was talking about just making love. You know what I mean? And so that's all. That's cool if he's gonna do that. But so I also wanted to clarify that like I realized that I had to have a different mental space when it comes to listening to his music. So listening to Kendrick, I feel like it requires a particular mental space compared to listening to my normal music. Normal. I even said normal. Listening to Drake, listening to trap, and so on and so forth. It's a different mental space. And I'm going to try to explain what I mean when I talk about different mental spaces. But in order to get to that, I actually want to go on a tangent, still related, and let y'all know that somebody had left me a comment on my last YouTube video about Lupe Fiasco, right? And so this person was a huge fan of Lupe Fiasco. They loved him, and they had basically told me to go ahead and listen to his newest track. He released something new. Shout out to Lupe Fiasco for giving the culture some new music to listen to. I love that. And so he basically had me listen to Lupe Fiasco, and what I realized is with Lupe Fiasco, you must sit down, pay attention, and process his lyrics because he's a great. So you don't want to just you don't want to be distracted. You don't want to be doing other things. You want to go ahead and process what Lupe Fiasco has to say. So basically, I sat down there and I was listening to him, listen to his whole track. And by the time I finished listening to it, I actually realized something pretty crazy. Um, Despite me sitting there, paying attention, listening to everything he had to say, I did not understand what he had to say. Ken Lee Pierre, Lupe Fiasco is a better lyricist than Lamar. Wow. And I, to be honest, watch, I agree with you 100% because, like I was saying, I started to realize that I did not understand what he had to say. So, what I did, what you got to do with somebody great like Lupe, you got to go ahead and go to genius.com and you got to break down what he was saying. So I went to genius.com to break down what he was getting at. And what I like to do when I read stuff from Genius is I don't automatically press the translations and the understandings. What I do is I try to break it down myself and try to understand it myself. And that's when I realized that even when you read Lupe Fiasco's work, it is so above your head that you still need to really take the time to really think about what he's saying. Like, Lupe is the GOAT. He is just above and beyond and deep. And I started to realize something crazy about Lupe. I started to realize that this track in particular, Samurai, it's actually beyond rap. This track is poetry, which is unbelievable. Like, that's some dense stuff. That's some intense and dense stuff that he's essentially, this is poetry, right? And so if we were to read Lupe's lyrics, so I'm going to read it. So he said, I got these really neat, very beautifully alliterated little battle raps for you. I got these really neat, very beautifully alliterated little battle raps for you. So come on through, right? So really dense. So when I went ahead and I clicked on it, so I needed somebody to explain it to me. And what it says is Lupe is referencing Amy Winehouse, where she sent Salam Remy a voicemail about writing Wu-Tang style, really neat, very beautiful, alliterated little battle raps. So think about how dense that is. First of all, not only did I have to like go to Genius, I had to actually know the history where Lupe watches the Amy Winehouse documentary. Like, that is above and beyond. That's so intense and dense, and that's really a beautiful thing. And so Lupe is just unbelievably, poetic, and not everybody can appreciate that. The unfortunate reality is. So, with that being said, I did go ahead and I listened to his other new track because he had another one that basically was a little bit easier to interpret because and this is going to be called, it's Cake. This is definitely a much easier to interpret track for the mainstream person such as myself. I can be straightforward about where I'm at. For the mainstream guy like myself, and I'm gonna go to the lyrics. And by the way, shout out to Lupe for such an awesome music video. Just good vibes coming from that music video as well. You know what I mean? And so in Cake, what he says is compliments on my accomplishments are only possible due to your involvement, volume, level, and confidence. So what's crazy, like, listen to me reading that without a beat, and it's already rapping. It's already rapping, just like that. A consequence of stimulating your consciousness, activating the cognitive structures. I think all you motherfuckers and opposites. It's rap. You don't even need a beat. That's totally different, bro. You don't even need a beat with that. You know. So Lupe, man, Lupe is just an incredible, incredible person. You know what I mean? And so I definitely can't wait for him to actually release his album. I'm going to be listening to that. One of the tracks on that album is called Mumble Rap, by the way, which guess what that means? He's got a commentary about mumble rap. So when he does that, that's going to be unbelievable, right? So, like I said, what I was trying to get at is, there's different lanes, and an artist like Lupe has a particular lane of poetic lyricists. Okay, that sometimes a mainstream listener might not be able to catch on to that message. You know what I mean? And so what I was saying to myself is like, so imagine if he released that track 15, 20 years ago before genius.com. And I'm like, so how would somebody be able to receive that message? And I'm saying to myself, you know what? Most likely what you'd have to do is you'd have to listen to Lupe, write down what he's saying, write it down on paper because I'm pretending genius.com doesn't exist for a second. You have to write that down on paper and then probably go to like a college professor and be like, can you explain to me what Lupe is saying? Because this is intense, right? And so, what I was saying, like that track in particular, it being poetry, you know, I feel like you might hear something like that, like at a live poetry. Like I don't know if you guys ever went to live poetry, where they basically, there's a poet on stage and they're basically going over the poetry, not going over, they're saying the poetry, and you expect that you will not understand that poetry because you expect it to be totally over your head, right? Typically speaking, right? So what I think is amazing about that track as well is that, you know, that's one particular lane, and I think I'd highly recommend you having that mindset to be able to listen to that track. So now what I did after that, which is pretty funny, I went into my car and my playlist is gonna be different, okay? I went into my car and guess what played? Future. Right after listening to Lupe Fiasco, Future comes on, right? And y'all gonna be I'm gonna make so many people mad with this. So Future comes on and this song called Pardon Me by Lil Yachty comes on. And let me read the lyrics to you. Pardon me, I've been still acting po. Pardon me, I've been acting little po. Pardon me, I've been still acting po. Pardon me, I've been acting little po. Name a strip club, I throw it. So if y'all don't understand Future's very complex lyrical writing, so he's saying, "Pardon me, I've been acting a little poor." Not a complete sentence at all. Not a complete sentence at all. And so he's saying that basically, even though he had made a lot of money, right? Even though he's making a lot of money, he's still acting like he used to act when he was broke, right? So like here you can see in this video, he's out there throwing dice, throwing money, hanging out with ratchet people, right? Pardon me, I've been still acting poor. And then he says, name a strip club, I'll throw it. So we all know that Future built his whole everything off of the strip club scene. And so he goes in the strip club, he throws that money, right? And so what's crazy to me is just thinking about how that is a simple message to receive. It's almost too simple, for the love of God. It's too simple. There's no comparison to Lupe Fiasco. There's no comparison at all. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's an easier message to receive. And so that's the other lane of hip hop, you know, the simpler, the mainstream, the simpler lane of hip hop, right? And so I gotta tell you, the reality is that track, Pardon Me, I've been playing that track back to back to back to back to back to back over and over and over and over and over, right? So what I am basically getting at here is that basically there's two, well, it's two lanes of hip hop, and on one lane we have poetry, and then we have classic rap. On the other lane we have hip hop and trap, right? So on the classic rap side, we might say that might be something like Snoop Dogg, that might be something like Eminem, that might be something like Nas. Although some people say Nas is more like poetry. I don't know if that's what y'all would think, right? And so on the hip hop and trap side, we have now Drake. Drake, I might actually say he's more of a hip hop. Well, I mean, you could also say he's kind of like trap. You know what I mean? Okay. So wait a minute, let me just check something because wait, it's saying that we've detected a video. Wow. Oh, so you you can't even play other videos in your stream. That's crazy. Oh, okay. So I gotta stop playing videos in my stream. I didn't know you can't play videos. I thought you could only not play music. That's actually pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Um, so basically, the mainstream music that I'm listening to is going to be on the hip hop and the trap side. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I found myself listening to another track. Okay, and I know y'all gonna love. I don't know if y'all remember this one by Drake. Let me see what this one is called. Okay, here it is. And let me go ahead and let y'all look at the lyrics with me. And if y'all remember this track, Summer 16, this is a track that I'm really, really, really bumping hardcore. You know what I mean? And this is Summer 16 by Drake. And so let's read his lyrics. So he says, looking for revenge. Actually, let me sing it. Looking for revenge all summer 16. All summer 16. Playing dirty, not clean. Out in front of Four Seasons. Looking like a damn football team. Okay. If you think I can sing, let me know. Um, because I'm trying to, maybe get signed or something like that. You know what I mean? Um, so these lyrics, basically, they're pretty simple. He's looking for revenge. So this track was actually made after he beat Meek Mill, and he basically was celebrating that win. You know what I mean? So after he did that, he made this track. So it says he's looking for revenge all summer 16, playing dirty, not clean, out in front of the Four Seasons, looking like a damn football team. So basically, if you don't remember, he went to Meek Mill's hotel. He went on the top floor above him, and he played back to back over and over, back to back, over and over and over and over and over on top of Lupe Fiasco's room, right? So that was messed up that he did that. But I mean, it's a diss track. War is war at the end of the day, right? So this track, to me, and I want to get your opinion. I feel like lyrics like this, not as dense as and poetic as Lupe Fiasco. I feel like this is a form of rap social media, if that makes any sense. Right? I don't know if that makes sense to you. It's like he's telling you how he feels in the form of rap, and he's not necessarily overly concerned with the with hardcore lyricism. He's just trying to make a point, right? I don't know what you think. So in the next one, he says, "Tell Obama that my verses are just like the whips that he and they bulletproof." Right. So in that one, there was a little bit of an altercation with him and Obama, where he basically Obama said that Kendrick was going to beat him, and he didn't like that, right? And I guess Obama was right. I guess I guess Obama was right, man. That's just unfortunate. In the end, Kendrick did win. You know what I mean? So, what I think that we all have to just, learn how to be open minded to all forms of rap. And maybe I'm talking to myself. We got to be open minded, and be willing to listen to that's typical classic rap, and then we should be willing to listen to trap as well. You know what I mean? Because it's all important stuff here. You know. So I want to go ahead and switch gears and talk about something pretty interesting. So we're gonna go back to my old video. This video got a lot of angry comments. Got a lot of angry comments. So if the battle had happened in 2017, maybe Drake would have won. Hmm, that's a good point. That's a good point. If this was 2017, I think Drake probably would have won that battle. 2017 Drake was a different Drake in the first place, right? So I actually do agree with you, Kenley Pierre. That's actually a good point as well. You know what I mean? So so in my video, Kendrick Lamar versus Eminem, I got in a bit of trouble with that video, um, because I got over 158 comments on that one. The funny thing is, I got more comments on that one than my previous video where I admitted that Drake had won. I'm sorry, Drake had lost. So people were pretty. People had a lot to say, and I made the mistake of saying that Kendrick and Eminem had actually battled when they didn't. So Drake was not good mentally rapping at this point in his career. Kenley, that is so true. That is so true. Drake was in a bad place mentally. It was almost like I honestly said Drake was probably thinking of retiring. You know what I mean? I personally thought that he was thinking about retiring, and then I feel like this track situation kind of brought him back into the kind of brought him back into having to actually defend himself in rap. You know what I mean? So, like I was saying in my previous video, I did get accused of instigating a fight between Kendrick Lamar and Eminem. So I do apologize for trying to do that. I didn't mean to. I know I said that I did mean to do that, but I did put out a statement, an apology, and I said, I apologize for trying to instigate that fight. They didn't actually clash with each other. I was trying to start a discussion on who would win, Kendrick Lamar or Eminem, and a lot of people did actually just discuss that debate. They actually discussed things, and so I appreciate the people who saw it like that, and I apologize to those who thought I was trying to start something. You know what I mean? Oh snap! I keep forgetting to not open it like that, but yeah. So because he ran out of people to pay homage to, yeah. Shout out, hey, Shauna Green. You know, yeah, He did run out of people to pay homage to. Although I'm trying to see what did you mean by that exactly? Just wanted if you could clarify what you meant because I might be processing what you said a little bit differently when you said he ran out of people to pay homage to. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah. So like I was saying, so I did have a dream. So here's what happened. I had this dream that I was walking down the street listening to Drake, and then I hear somebody say, "Hey," and then I turn around and I see Will Smith behind me walking up. And he says, "Keep Kendrick Lamar and Eminem's name out your fucking mouth." And then he smacks the shit out of me. And I wake up in a cold sweat and I look in the mirror and I swear I could see Will Smith's handprint on my cheek. You know what I mean? So that's why I did have to release that apology for that. And just, let's just, debate about GOAT. I like debating about GOATs, about who's the very best. You know what I mean? Now somebody did act crazy and they were like, oh, maybe YouTube is not the career for you. And I gotta say, at the end of the day, man, listen, let me tell you something. I got a crack in my windshield right now. They told me, man, it's gonna cost $300 to fix that. You know what I mean? If you look at my channel, I used to I try to be a rapper. I try to be a producer. Man, I got a day job, man. So I gotta figure something out so that I can see if I can succeed in any other way. So I'm gonna just try to learn from my mistakes and try to get better. You know what I mean? Um, Now I want to kind of switch gears on a different perspective. Somebody else had made a comment on that video about she just didn't get that there were people who liked Drake who were as old as I am. She was throwing subs. She was kind of throwing me under the bus. She's like, why in the heck would people like Drake? Older people like that. And at first I got all defensive and I was like, bro, you can like whatever you want to like. Right? You can like anything that you want to like. If I want to like Drake, if I want to like Eminem, if I want to like Cardi B, if I want to like this and that, I could like that person. But then I realized that at the end of the day, I was taking it a little bit personal. And it wasn't about whether, it wasn't about what I liked. It was about a perspective that certain people have. And I think that what it is, people like, everybody has a favorite Drake song. And what I think is that most people don't like Drake. They just like a song by Drake, right? And so everybody's kind of like liking a song, but they clown Drake. And then they didn't realize that at the end of the day, there are people who seriously are fans of Drake. They don't believe that they're serious Drake fans. And even myself, I started to realize that there are other serious Drake fans. I'm on a Reddit thread, and I'm congregating with other serious Drake fans. We're real. We really do like him. Like, we're real, okay? And so it's not so much, I didn't really need to get defensive. So I'm not really going to, get defensive about her saying, oh, yeah, 30-year-old guy likes Drake. You know, academics like Drake. Academics, DJ Academics is a true Drake fan. And I'm inspired by Academics. I'm trying to follow in his footsteps. Hopefully me and Academics could actually have a conversation one day. You know what I mean? So hopefully that happens. So shout out to Academics. Hopefully we can talk one day and talk about Drake and whatnot if we have to. You know what I mean? Shauna Green says a lot of his lyrics in his songs are exact lyrics from other artists. Destiny's Child, Aaliyah, Mace, Diddy took Rappin' Forte's entire flow and verse, all in all in the name of paying homage. Boy, Shauna is on Drake's ass. So that's why he's not good mentally at this point in his career because he's run out of lyrics to steal because he done stole a shitload. There's a 17-minute video online with all of these examples. Link me, Shauna. Send me the link. Send me the link, okay? Send me the link of that. All right. Because I will be reacting to that video. I will be reacting. Okay. Shauna is on Drake's behind, boy. Drake, man, what did you do? You made everybody mad. You made what did, why you did that to these people, Drake? I'm out here trying to defend you. You know what I mean? So, I can't. One thing, Shauna, let me be real with you. I will never deny that Drake has been inspired by other people. Never, ever, ever. Will deny that Drake has been inspired in some ways. Now, you said he's stole from Destiny's Child, Aaliyah, Mason Diddy. All right. If he did, I mean, I like to use the word inspire, but maybe use the word stole. I'm not going to deny that he was inspired. You know what I mean? Um, she said, so now the word we're using is inspired. Inspired. Yes, that's the word we're using. Okay. Everybody needs inspiration in life. You know what I mean? And he is inspired by everybody. Inspired by everybody. So, yeah, Shauna said she gonna find that video. Now, Shauna, you don't have to. But I understand if you're gonna listen. You got me on the stand here. If you go find that video, I'll watch the video on stream and react to it. I'm not gonna stop you. Shorter said we gonna look at this video. Oh man, that's what's up. So she said, "Hold up, are you sitting in front of a PC?" Yeah, I'm in front of my computer. I'm streaming in front of my PC, so I can actually, if you just search it, if you got the title of the video, I can actually just look that up. Because the video, I do have this video that I was gonna watch. 17 minutes Drake stealing lyrics. 17 minutes of Drake stealing lyrics. Oh boy. Let's do it. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Let's see how this is gonna go. See if I can defend him at this point. Let me see. 17 minutes of Drake stealing lyrics. How dare you make me type that, Shauna? I'm gonna give this a try, but let me see. Let me turn on the. Oh wait, here's the. Okay, I'm sorry, Shauna. So I can't play this because of the music. I can play the video, but if I play the music, YouTube, I get in trouble with YouTube. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use the benefit of the doubt because I don't know if I want to watch 17 minutes of Drake stealing lyrics as a Drake fan. That's kind of tough for me to do. That's kind of hard for me to do, Sean. I know you putting me on a stand right here. You know what I mean? She said you can listen. I watched it. Hella, Shauna, why are you watching this so many times? Oh Lord, oh Lord. But anyways, let us move on. Let us move on. Shauna don't play no games when it comes to Shauna. What's your favorite Drake song? Give me a Drake song so that I don't look so bad right now. You gotta have a favorite Drake song, right? Because like just hold on, we're coming home. Do 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 do. Just hold on, we're coming home. Ooh oh oh oh. Come on, everybody got a favorite Drake song. You know what I mean? She said, because we dragged this Canadian dipstick on Reddit in this video. See, I bet you, because I be on Reddit. You don't have a favorite Drake song? I don't like Drake, yeah. Guys, look at how she typed that out one by one to emphasize that she's she's saying this with emphasis. Look at how she's clarifying very clearly that she when Kendrick was like, I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk, I hate the way that you dress. When Kendrick was saying that, I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk, Shauna was yelling that at the top of her lungs, right? Kenley said, "Mine is 5 a.m. in Toronto, Tuscan leather." Kenley, that tells me so much about you. You want to know why that tells me? That tells me you look for his raps. If you're doing 5 a.m.s, 7 a.m.s, you're looking for his raps, and that I gotta respect you for that. So let Shauna know that Drake be rapping, okay? Let her know, okay? So I respect you for that. You know, Drake can rap all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Shauna said at the top of her lungs. I hate the way that you walked. That's what the culture feeling. So you know what? So I want you to understand that I fuck with the Euphoria. I'm a Drake fan. I fuck with the track. So I be singing this track. It'd be awkward as fuck when I had to say that's what the culture feeling. That should be hurting my feelings because I don't agree with that. The thing, you know what stresses me out? I remember like 80% of the lyrics on Euphoria, and that's hella crazy. Like that is like that. His bars just kind of hit. You know what I mean? It's That's just the reality. But hey, let me ask y'all a question. Let me switch off of Drake for a second. I know Sean got a lot to say about Drake. So y'all listening to J. Cole's Grippy? She like my grippy, and then I'm in my grippy. She like my kip game, and then I'm in my lippy. What did y'all think about that track? Let me go to Genius. Did y'all like his track? Um, Shauna said, "Hell no." And when you kick me, I put it front row of the Nick game. I like that track. That track is a good track. Mm, it's Rippy and then I'm Nikki. La 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 and Nikki. She said she's strictly right. See me, Shauna, why do me and you don't listen to the same stuff? That's what we going. Kenley said that's not a good track. All right, all right, guys. Like I gotta have some type of consensus in here. I thought that he did better than Cash Cobain on that track. Cash Cobain did not carry at all. And I feel like this is really J. Cole featuring, he said he was out of place. So I feel like it's always good for an artist to expand and experiment and see what they sound like on different tracks because you just never know. And I think that he was just doing that. He was expanding, he was doing something different, doing something new, and he was trying something out. Now, what he did really weird though, the timing of this track was terrible. To release this after all the diss tracks and all of that was the worst idea ever. Right? It was the worst thing he could have ever done. Right? And I feel like he should have held back on releasing this track. Right? And he should have released something harder than this. Because this is kind of like, first of all, this was a feature. So this wasn't like him really trying to show what he can do. He was just kind of trying to like jump on this track and just Shawnee, you gonna make me read that comment? He expanded like an intestine and released a fart. Shauna, you're a gangster, an OG, an OG. So let me ask y'all a different question. Do y'all think one day J. Cole and Kendrick might end up beefing again? Here we go again. I'm starting something. I gotta stop. Y'all think Kendrick and J. Cole, is there any small chance that they gonna cross paths again? Okay. Nope, they homies. Okay. So let me put a stop to that. Shauna said they homies. Let's go ahead and put a stop. That ain't gonna happen. I definitely agree. I think Kendrick literally saying on stage, J. Cole is, I'm sorry, I got it in reverse. I think J. Cole saying on stage, Kendrick is my homie, that says everything we need to say. That says everything he needs to say. They ain't ever gonna bump heads ever again. That's not gonna happen ever again. Okay, so we can move on to that, move on to a different question because the fact is that is never gonna happen at the end of the day. J. Cole can be saved, Drake is beyond saved. Explain that a little bit more. Are you trying to say that Drake's career is over? Or are you saying that like they can never be Kendrick and Drake can never be friends? I just want you to expand on that a little bit because in my opinion, Drake ain't gonna have oh, oops, I almost pressed the wrong button. Um will be the Book of Flame. Did y'all hear that? Because if y'all heard that, YouTube is gonna get me in trouble. So not the career, their mental. So Drake's mental space is gone. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to see how he pulls himself back mentally from this because he is in a bad space at this point. You know what I'm saying? I want to switch topics and ask y'all: do y'all know who Lil B is? Y'all know Lil B? And do y'all mess with Lil B even a little bit? You know what I mean? Lil B just released a new mixtape called The Book of Flame. So Lil B, if you don't know him, Lil B is that guy. Oh, nobody heard of him? Do y'all remember this song? Wonton Soup. Not me pulling up a picture of wonton soup, literally. Josiah Wonton Soup. No, 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 soup. No, 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 soup. Whoop. No, 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 no. Okay, so y'all don't know who he is. He was a rapper. He is a rapper. Not famous, not mainstream, but well known on the internet. He released a new album. I think the reason I brought him up is to let y'all know that he released a new album, but it's an album. So he used to make tracks that were mostly they were kind of like not that serious, but this time he did release an album that was very serious. But if y'all want to go check him out, y'all can. Um, Listen to the first song. If you like him, you like him. You don't, you don't. I missed a comment. So when Drake is mature, he will eventually piece it out with Kendrick. So yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna take before he can actually make amends with Kendrick. Could be a pretty long time. You know what I mean? I think it might be like 2 or 3 years before he actually makes peace with Kendrick. But let's hope they can make peace. It's hard to make peace after those allegations. Those allegations, the allegations I'm talking about, they were hardcore. So it's kind of hard to make peace after calling him an appreciator of kids. After Kendrick basically called him, yeah, it's hard to make friends after those allegations. You know what I mean? But let's see if they can do it. I think Kendrick would have to retract that statement. You know what he called him? Uh, a PDF file. Yeah. That's just, I don't even want to say that. You know what I mean? So let me ask y'all another question. So did y'all hear about let me get this video up. Did y'all hear about this? Y'all gonna like this one. Let me put my browser up.
Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums, nigga.
Peace, y'all. It's your boy Johnny Fastlane here with allhiphop.com. So this situation is crazy, man, because right there, that was a clip of 21 Savage telling Metro Boomin to shut your ass up and make some drums, right? Okay, so y'all know the whole situation, man. 21 Savage has made a lot of money with Drake this year, but it's crazy because Metro Boomin and 21 Savage are really good friends, right? So Metro Boomin decided to troll 21 Savage today, right? Metro Boomin is on 21 Savage's live, just leaving a bunch of comments saying, I bet you got an OVO tramp stamp and a bunch of crazy things like that. Then when he started seeing all the comments that Metro Boomin was saying about Drake and everything like that, he cut Metro Boomin off, said, I'm about to block your ass, and then said, set your whole ass up and make some drums, right? It's crazy because, of course, you know, they're just trolling each other and playing around, and if anyone would be able.
So y'all heard that? Let me ask y'all a question. So first of all, it was pretty interesting to see 21 Savage sort of choose Drake. I'm not saying he totally was like Drake is his boy, but he sort of picked Drake and sided with Drake a little bit over Metro. Pretty surprising because Metro basically, what album was that again? The one where he's like, oh no, my ex bitch, something ex bitch. Metro was all over that album. So to see them have even a little bit of disagreement, so I've heard that technically 21 Savage blocked Metro Boomin on Instagram. So I don't know if that's going to last forever. I don't know if they'll come around. It is surprising to see this happen. Let me play the clip again.
To squash the beef between Metro Boomin and Drake, it would be 21 Savage. So let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
Metro, shut.
So it's crazy that they ended up even having that disagreement. To be honest, though, for the love of God, I don't even think anybody else sided with Drake in the celebrity world except 50 Cent. 50 Cent sided with Drake and DJ Academics. But I mean, that's kind of a given that DJ Academics would side with Drake, you know what I mean? So I don't agree. They are Jacob and Esau. Wow, Shauna. We got here. Shauna, you are. They will agree to peacefully coexist. And if Drake is smart, he ain't gonna let Kendrick's name come out his fucking mouth. Yo, this is a gangster person. This person is an OG. Yo. So Shorty said, I take it back. There's one Drake song that it's the one written and performed by Quentin Miller. We don't talk about Quentin Miller over here. Oh man. We don't talk about Quentin. Oh boy. She getting at me. She getting at me over here. Okay. Quentin might have contributed. Now hold on, Shauna. Watch this. He might have contributed a bar here or there, just a small bar, a word, a phrase. You know what I mean? Nothing too like hardcore. He never wrote everything. Right, Shauna? Never wrote anything, just a bar. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. You know what I mean? He's like, oh yeah, Drake, you know what? Just change this bar a little bit like this. And Drake's like, oh really? Just that one bar? And yeah. They collaborated, unfortunately. Kenley, they collaborated. Correct word. Collaboration. Hip hop is all about collaboration. Okay. It's all about collaboration. Oh my God, you need to watch that 17-minute video. Holy. I would have watched it. Shauna. But YouTube won't let me. You know what I mean? You know,